Moving to some of the contents of the dissertation. In this extensive work of more than 400 pages in the Arabic, Aziz presents his findings in a number of interlocking frames. For example, an important basis of the study is a literature review of the history of Islam in the United States. That's one of the frames that organizes the presentation of his findings. He also has an important section in which he considers the political and cultural significance of tasawwuf in the Arab world over the past, let's say, 100 years, late 20th into the present 21st century. A third frame locates the significance of his findings in globalizing currents. By globalizing currents, I mean developments that surround manifestations such as the spread of Sufism to the United States. Such globalizing currents would include reformist movements in the Muslim world, the politics of the relationship between the West and Islam over the past century, and what we might call cultural politics, for example, the symbolic role of Sufism today as being upheld as evidence for a moderate, culture-friendly Islam. Within, having this background in mind, in other words, the political and cultural context in which these movements take their place, Aziz moves to several hundred pages in which he presents his extensive findings on these orders. Perhaps I should say at this point that there is no single or simple place in English or in Western languages to look for this information, but rather excavating the history of Sufi movements, their multiple literary production, their diverse historical currents. This requires a very detailed and extensive investigation of writings in multiple genres and sources, and this is the kind of work undertaken by Mr. Elkobaiti. So, for example, he moves to discuss the central topic of his thesis, tasawwuf in the United States. He first lays out a schema of the multiple Sufi orders and backgrounds that have carried tasawwuf to the United States, beginning in the early 20th century. Most significant to the thesis and coherent with its theme is the study of specifically Moroccan or Morocco-based Sufi orders in the United States, including the Shadhili Darqawi, the Alawi, the Habibi, the Batawi, the Keller Hashemiya, the Idrissiya, the Butchushiya. So the history of these orders for the first time is gathered and explicated as part of this work.